Houston Center for Literacy was commissioned out of the mayor's office in 1988 to serve as a singular, strong voice for literacy organizations throughout the city of Houston. Our goal is to create a more literate, educated Houston. Our objective is to build a more literate, educated Houston so we can mitigate the 20% adult low literacy rate, so that parents of K through 12 children can support them in school, so we can create a stronger, more educated workforce, and our economy can flourish. To do this, we need ambassadors for literacy and education. We need financial resources to create capacity and more classrooms. We need high-level policy change so that our legislators can care and understand more about what's happening in education in Houston. And we need more seats, which means more classroom space, more teachers, more supplies, and more money to have more classes. Houston Center for Literacy is the strongest, oldest, and largest coalition in the state of Texas. We are supported by a strong economy in Houston. We have strong mayoral support and strong city council support. Because of all of these things, we've been able to create a database called the Texas Online Learner Database. That database will help us collect data so that we can make data-driven decisions across the board in Houston. We also are able to engage in high-level research. We are now working in a partnership with the Hobby Center at Rice University and with the Bush School at Texas A&M University. And we're fortunate to be one of the only agencies in Texas with the capacity to be able to tackle these policy issues and these database issues to really impact adult education in Houston. Houston Center for Literacy has an amazing staff, an amazing board, and amazing coalition membership. Our staff cares about creating a more literate Houston. They have passion for education. They're smart, they're young, and they're fun. Our board truly cares about a more literate, employable Houston. We want to make sure, and our board wants to make sure, that Houstonians have the skills they need to take the jobs Houston has to offer them, which in turn will create a stronger economy. Our coalition membership, all of our literacy providers, are diverse in all areas of town. They're so committed, they're on the ground connecting to the learners and the families. It's going to take all three parts, our staff, a committed board, and amazing literacy providers to really address the issue of literacy in Houston. As a coalition, we know we're successful if we're able to increase the number of literacy providers we have participating in our coalition. We also know we're successful if we're able to affect policy so that we can create a stronger adult education system. We know we're successful if we are recruiting more volunteers, which we know will create more awareness for literacy needs in the city of Houston. For our agencies, it's more personal. They know they're successful if they're able to teach more people, if they're able to hire more teachers and have more classes, if they're able to get more of their students into higher education, into community college, or into the workforce. We know we're successful if our agencies are doing more of what they need to do. Many people in Houston believe our organization is actually a direct service provider, and although we do serve students in our demonstration sites, the Houston Center for Literacy was commissioned as a backbone organization for all literacy agencies throughout the city of Houston, from K through 12 to early childhood education and adult education. One of the things we're really excited about is, with the assistance of Senator Joan Huffman, we were able to pass a bill which moved adult education funding from one agency to another, hopefully creating a more effective and efficient system, and hopefully bring more funding into the adult education system so that we can serve more people. We were also awarded a statewide AmeriCorps grant through the One Star Foundation, which will help us build capacity or serve more people within literacy agencies throughout Texas. We have also partnered with United Way and their 211 directory. So now if you need literacy assistance or want to find a literacy agency in your neighborhood, you can call 211 directory and get as much information as you want about literacy agencies throughout the city. We've also created TOLD, the Texas Online Learner Database. This database will allow community-based organizations throughout Houston and Texas enter data on students, volunteers, and their programs so that we can use this data to affect policy, to inform stakeholders, and to create awareness about literacy issues in the state of Texas and in Houston. Many people believe adult education and literacy services are for people who've already had a chance in school or for an immigrant population. Well, that's true. Houston is now the most diverse city in the country. 80% of the students in our K-12 system come from a household where they speak a second language. But they are Houston. They are our resources, and we have to invest in our resources. We have to do something about the low literacy rate in Houston. If we don't, our education system will not be what it needs to be to create a stronger Houston. Additional resources would allow us to expand our provider relations department. Our true customer is the literacy organization, and they have many needs: technology, advocacy, volunteers. The second thing we would do is increase funding through our Mayor's Challenge Grant. Because we receive funding from the City of Houston, we are able to provide small grants to our providers, but these grants allow them to teach more students and hire more teachers and hold more classes. One of the things we'd love to do is bring a New York-based program called We Are New York to Houston. And of course, we'd call it We Are Houston. But it's like a Sesame Street for adults. It teaches people how to speak English. It addresses very important and realistic situations like how to maneuver the medical system, going to the doctor, making an appointment, or talking with your child's teacher. It has slower paced subtitles and repeats words over and over, and it would allow adults to learn how to speak English in the convenience of their home or on their lunch breaks at work.